All right.
Oh my goodness. My display's all messed up.
Ooh, neat.
I don't know how to fix that problem. So I guess I'll just live with it.
All right, camera. White balance actually looks good tonight, but let's pop that brightness up a smidge and the contrast down a little. Kaboom.
Add.
Yeah.
All right.
Brett S. Hey.
Hey.
Gonna keep working on the Britney Spears dancer.
Yeah. She's my favorite.
Because the other two are gonna require a little extra work.
Leave Britney alone. I got something in the mail today because a lot of people have been suggesting it. I bought actual glazing medium.
Huh.
So I'm going to try that instead of matte medium and see if there's any difference.
I think I might as well do the skin. Ooh. Oh, and I don't have any paint. All right, I'll be right back.
Sits down and there's no point. I'm all discombobulated too because of shooting a video right now. So everything is everywhere. And nothing is nowhere. All combined into one problem. Yeah.
Ray Taurus.
Sup? Sup?
Okay, I'm gonna build some skin tones. Each one is gonna get a different skin recipe. I have started building the Necron half of the Indominus I ordered. Ooh,
Nice.
Indominus was so sweet. Every single model in that box was a winner.
Yeah, maybe they'll do that for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite armies.
I saw on Discord somebody painted up the Storm Strike Speeder, the Primaris version of the Storm Speeder, and wow, I think that is a model that I do not like. Like there aren't any models that I don't think have any value. That one though, I will say, the new Primaris pilot helmets are really cool. I think that is the only compliment I can give that kit. I really don't like it. I don't think the old one was a gem either, but the new one did not help it.
Interesting.
My friends urged me to pick up the Necron half since it was pretty cheap. Yeah, the Necron half goes for even less than the Space Marines. Lucky Bat. Ooh.
Ooh, Lucky Bat. Ooh, Bat.
All right, what color am I going to use to base coat all this flesh with?
Green.
No.
Purple.
No.
Just name every other color.
I'm going to try Beastly Brown. James Cameron Clark. You could buy Indominus full price, bin the Space Marines, and you'd still be saving money. Yes, yeah, that's how good Indominus was. It was like, I think I broke it down. It was like about $3 a model.
Yeah.
Which is crazy for Games Workshop.
It is.
Kinoki known as I want to be 14 again and make new, different mistakes.
All right. I got the last stripy pants to orange. Looking forward to no more stripes for now. I mean, I have a ton to go. If I want to do the whole army with stripy
hundreds.
pants. Mr. Smudge13. Since the last stream, I've looked into more 40k stuff since it's new to me, and I think I want to buy some Sisters of Battle.
Yeah! Sisters of Battle is like one of the armies that I drool over the most. I love every single kit. They're awesome. They're phenomenal. The new Sisters of Battle tank is amazing. All the Sisters of Battle tanks are amazing. I think the flying steeple that is also a flamethrower is one of the greatest things ever. And the new Sisters of Battle mech suits are also my favorite thing.
Those are pretty good. Mecha T-Rex. Do you have any plans to make a video on how to photograph miniatures?
No.
You know, I think we might have one of those in store at some point.
We do. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, to really be sure, you'd have to join the Patreon.
Yes.
But,
to know 100% if that's happening and when it comes out, you'd have to join the Patreon.
Exactly. But very timely comment, let's just say that. That's very funny.
Aquino Quinones, the starter set compared to the new kits makes no sense to me. The new kits are I mean, the new kits are what? What do you mean by the new kits? Are you talking about like the new stuff that they released for Sisters? Or are you talking about the new $140 start collectings? Are you talking about the re-release of the Indominus models?
In terms of price? In terms of what they look like?
I mean, I think it kind of makes it like, you know, Games Workshop gets you in the door with the cheap stuff, and then they hope you pick up some of the expensive stuff.
Oh yeah, and that's what happens.
It's like your dealer giving you a little baggie of the good stuff. Reteros. I kind of want to pick up Sisters as a second army eventually. Oh, the Sisters look so good. Oh, I want to paint them. Mecha T-Rex. As I suspected. I did have a feeling. By the way, Nick, do you have a channel?
I do. It is called Eons of Battle. A pretty sick channel. I am sometimes in videos. I am mostly not. But I do all the editing for the channel. And help film. Help get things ready to go. Reteros. It's like drug dealers giving you some good for free. Exactly.
The Necron Infantry box versus the starter set. Yeah, the starter set is $50 and comes with 10 Necrons. The Necron box comes with 10 models and costs $40. Yeah. I mean, they're making it available for people who just want to buy the Necrons. It doesn't make sense, but they kind of have to. Because they can't be like, oh, if you're a Necron player, then you just have to buy starter sets that come with a couple Space Marines too.
Yeah.
And that's just their pricing structure is. Infantry costs, $40, $50, or $60. So I'm sure in a few years, because I'm guessing that they're going to probably switch up the starter boxes before they switch up the Necron Infantry box. Like, that Necron Infantry box is probably going to be, like, there for a decade. But the start collecting is probably going to change every year or two.
Or two. 2 decades.
Yeah, for the next 40 years, that's going to be the Necron box.
JPC, can we be a beholder as a poll choice for stream? I want to see you do a big eyeball. Big old eyeball. I mean, you want to do maybe some bigger miniatures at some point.
I do. Yeah, some busts. Yeah, by the end of the year, I will have painted that the Forge World Imperial Space Marine. But I do need a little practice before, because I have never painted anything particular. I mean, I painted huge stuff for theater.
Yes, giant stuff.
But I've never painted a medium size, like a real, like anything outside of 28 millimeter figures. Never done a statue.
Happy Heretic. Yeah. Fuck Necrons. Also, hi everyone.
James Cameron Clark cries and 25-year-old Eldar. The Eldar stuff is getting old. Although you guys lay it on pretty thick. I mean, like, half the range is 10 years old, and then 10% of the range is, 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys act like you're still running Rogue Trader. Some models, like Striking Scorpions, they kind of hold up. None of the other Aspect Warriors do. Mm-hmm. Not the Swooping Hawks or the Fire Dragons, but I would like, if I was starting an Eldar army, I would be okay buying the Striking Scorpions.
Mm-hmm.
I would 100% go to a third party. Artel W has some really cool Aspect Warriors, and War Games exclusive. It has really, really cool. What are the guys that can teleport, and they're kind of spidery. They are called. I don't know my Eldar.
No idea.
Because I think they're lame.
Warp spiders?
Warp spiders? Warp talons? Warp somethings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Also, all of the Wraithbone stuff is pretty sweet. And you guys just got Banshees and a new Jane Czar.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you've been completely hung out to dry. You've just been the least.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotten the least things.
Akino Kinones, if I was starting an Eldar army, I would play Age of Sigmar. That's a good one. It's really funny.
Kinones. Hot take, Necrons won't get another update for 15 years now. I mean, they don't need it. Like, they doubled the units.
Mm-hmm.
Mega T-Rex, what would you guys say is your most iconic box from Games Workshop is? I guess that I'm really asking is, when you think of Games Workshop, what box do you feel is the most iconic? TAC Marine Squad? TAC Marine Squad until Primaris Marines came out and looked much better. Now I would say Primaris Marine. Primaris Marine, so technically it's not a tactical squad, it is a, God, what do they call? Intercessors. 10-man Intercessor Squad. That is iconic 40k.
Actually, it's not, because it sucks. Primaris sucks, and we should get rid of it. I really hate Primaris because it changed the lore completely, and now it's a completely different lore.
Yeah, before there were super soldiers. Yeah, because what are the odds that a mad scientist that no one trusts would start to work with arcane technology and be able to invent some things?
That'd be really ridiculous.
Yeah, in a world with magic, what are the odds of that? In a world where almost every single 40k novel is based on the idea of this is the 1 in a million time this happened.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's fun because we get comments like that all the time.
Yep. And I always respond, what did the lore do?
Mm-hmm.
And they never respond back.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think most people probably just watch, some of the saltier YouTubers, and then they're just like, yep. I found the person whose tone matches my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So they must be right.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Heretic. Eldar should be happy they haven't been squatted. There's tons of Eldar models. Eldar they're definitely the least loved faction by Games Workshop, but they're still totally a faction. I mean, they have more units than Grey Knights.
Mm-hmm.
Elronder, I like the Fire Dragons too. I also like the Fire Dragons.
Just not as much as the Striking Scorpions.
Mm-hmm. Travis Clark. I think it's silly that there are any troops that old. That's true. The Eldar Raiders, Revilers. There's two different Eldar troops. And there's one that looks okay, and there's one that looks...
Dire Avengers?
Dire Avengers look okay. Eldar Guardians look terrible. They are way too old.
Mm-hmm.
James Cameron Clark. Same with the Tyranids. And the Tyranids have gotten way more modern stuff, though, than the Eldar. Have you heard the hashtag cancel Primaris? Yeah! And it took them 10,000 years. I bet I could build a gravity tank in 10,000 years.
Exactly. I mean, think about all the learning you could do in 10,000 years.
Happy heretic. Point on the doll where the lore hurt you. Oh.
Man, that's pretty good. That's really funny.
Point out on the doll where the lore hurt you. Oh, that's so good. I mean, Happy Heretic, if you were looking for a nice video title.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a good video.
I think that could get a couple clicks.
Mm-hmm.
Cyclone 8974, mostly in Failcast. Finecast is tricky. I bought tons of Space Marine Finecast, and it was all fine. I bought some Necron Finecast, and it's really rough.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm glad Games Workshop is moving away from Finecast.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you get lucky. Like I bought a couple of Space Marine chaplains, and they were all excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Almost no big problems. I mean, they weren't as good as most other companies' resin, but it was like, I could build it and it'd be fine.
Mm-hmm. Leisurely minis. I need Tyranids to get some new stuff.
Oh, yeah. Tyranids, Kinonez. Tyranids need some serious love. Get the guy who designed the Elf Dino Riders to make some weird Cthulhu infantry.
Mm-hmm.
Cyclone 8974. Most Eldar are Failcast. No, that's not true. Like I would like I think 15 to 20%.
The special stuff is
the special, all of the except for now the Howling Banshees, all the other Aspect Warriors are still in Failcast.
Mm-hmm. I bet you they're pretty finicky for the Eldar stuff.
You know what? Actually, I've built them. I built a whole army for my cousin, and you know what?
Were they finicky?
Not really. They were all pretty doable. I built 20 Dire Avengers, or not Dire Avengers. I built 20 Swooping Hawks, and I built 10 Fire Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
So, and those were fine. Leisurely minis. I still love the Tyranid designs, though. Yeah, I like them too. I like that they're 80s kind of retro, still holding guns, even though they're biological monsters.
I disagree.
I think it's fun.
I think it is fun, but I think maybe they could do a little updating. I mean, I want to see them get the Indominus, Necron treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Just make them look a little sexier. Give them a little bit more detail. I think that'd be perfect.
I don't know. I feel like if where would you go with them besides just make them Zerglings?
Yes, I think maybe that's what they would become.
And I feel like Zerglings don't have the personality of like the cute little grinny face and the weird biological hands that are a gun and are also holding a gun.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Heretic. I mean, I'm not above clickbaity titles. Yeah. There you go. That's your next video right there.
Cyclone 8974. Sometimes you get lucky. Nope, I am not buying any more Failcast. I mean, it's not luck, because, I mean, even if you get a bad cast, you can just ask for a new one. The only thing that is tricky is the quality of the original casting. Like, a lot of the Games Workshop, whoever was in charge of porting the Games Workshop metal molds into resin molds did a horrible job. And so some models have a shocking number of gates to help the resin flow through the mold. And those gates, there's not a lot you can do about them. Most of them are in okay spots that you can carve away, but some of them are will be over details. And if they're over details, that means that detail is just never going to exist ever again.
Mm-hmm.
The only model I bought a lot of Finecast, and the only model where that is just unacceptable was Imhotep the Stormlord. And I will one day build him, but it'll require a lot of finesse and care.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel C.S. The problem with Failcast is that the quality of the resin can vary wildly. One batch is brittle, the next is solid. Well, again, I mean, I've heard nothing but if you contact and even just make a slight, like if you just make like an emote frown face, they'll just send you out a new one. Leisurely Minis, nothing I've done GW-wise compares to how finicky Malifaux models. I absolutely love the Malifaux models themselves, but putting them together hurts. For sure. Yeah, they're tiny, they're finicky, lots of tiny little parts, lots of peg-in holes that don't quite fit.
Mm-hmm. That's why I can't wait to see what the some of the Bayou models look like. The little gremlins. Where's that comment? There it is. Alabaster Stone. How would you fix gaps in your models?
I have a video where I show exactly my process for building minis. Called, I don't know, how was it called? How to build minis?
Everything you need to know about building models.
Yeah, it's a very good video. But I do talk about gap filling. My preferred gap filler is Tamiya Basic Putty. It dries really, really, really fast. But it's also super toxic. If you want something a little less toxic, most companies make a gap filler that, and a lot of them, like Vallejo's, is vinyl based, and so it dries out with water, and so it's gonna probably take overnight, but it'll do just as good a job. But it'll take overnight instead of 10 minutes, and sometimes even less than that. Daniel CS, epoxy sculpt works better than green stuff for gap filling because it cures tougher. It does, but it does take a long time to cure. And it's very expensive. And you have to knead the two halves together.
Is it sandable?
You could drill and tap it once it's dry. It's really crazy strong. But yeah.
You can't really do that with green stuff.
No. But having to pause and mix the two halves together is kind of annoying, and then waiting for it to properly dry is annoying.
There we go. Cute.
James Cameron Clark, I've been using Milliput with a silicone color shaper. Yep, that'll work. Daniel CS, it takes about 24 hours to fully cure. Yeah. Happy Heretic, God help me, I think I love painting shore troopers. Of course, I'm making them unintentionally grimdark, but that's better than unintentionally erotic. Yeah, the shore troopers look pretty sweet. Yeah, using clear paint to get the clothes off of them.
Exactly.
The shore troopers are neat. I wonder though, maybe I need to check my source books again, because surely they're not shore troopers designed to fight on shores. Like, that's so unbelievably specific. I assume that those are just the Scarif stormtroopers. So like the garrison might be like most of the garrison is probably shore troopers, and then all the white stormtroopers we see are like, guys who come from other planets and are stationed there for a short time. Because the stormtroopers in white armor are kind of like the enforcers. We learned in Solo that when the Imperials are waging a war, they have different armor that's kind of gray and camouflage. Because obviously, swarms of white stormtroopers would not make the best real troops.
Odd.
Leisurely Minis, the model looks beautiful so far. How do you do the faces? Usually I just glaze on lighter and lighter colors. There's a wonderful YouTuber who has a couple of great videos on faces called
Zumikito.
And both of his videos are like 5 minutes apiece, so I would totally go check those out.
He's wonderful.
Happy Heretic. Shore troopers are the Scarif garrison, but they show up in The Mandalorian Season 2 as well. Neat. Leisurely Minis. Shore troopers equals they'll surely win. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
I get it.
Cyclone 8974. Tyranids holding weapons makes more sense than not. Pretty simple to ditch a weapon and change it out than to remake a new Tyranid. Yeah, I always thought my headcanon was that the Tyranid create new organisms based on who they're fighting. And so in this galaxy, they're fighting things that hold guns. And so they've taken on forms that hold guns to better combat them.
Mm-hmm.
Akinononas. They are stormtroopers meant to fight in tropical environments, but they are still shore troopers from Scarif. Reno Baker, what's your opinion on the Citadel Game Envy miniature holders? I don't know about the Game Envy one. I have the old Citadel paint holder, and it's fine. I prefer just the old piece of small, like 1" by 1" cube wood. This is my preferred paint handle.
And we are sponsored by Cubes of Wood.
We are.
Mm-hmm. Any cube of wood that you see is, sponsors us.
Kinononas. Regular stormtroopers kind of stood out on Tatooine. Yeah, they stand out anywhere, but I think that's the point of them. I think that they're like the police. They're kind of like the galactic police.
Mm.
But they don't like investigate, or they just
they just go in there,
like beat you or shoot you if they catch you doing anything wrong.
Hey, they do that. That's what the police do. Mm-hmm.
They learn from the best.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Heretic. Zumikito's beard is epic.
Yeah.
I mean to ask him about what's his beard routine.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of beard oil?
That sounds like a video. He should do a video on how to paint beards.
Oh, that'd be a great idea.
Mm-hmm. You can have that one for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Zumikito, if you're watching, even though you're not, because it's probably 1 a.m. in Prague.
He does show up every once in a while.
He does
to our streams. It's fun.
I wonder if we looked back, was it always on a Saturday?
It was always on a Saturday.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because then it's in the morning for him.
Mm-hmm.
Preben Blech. They're supposed to stand out and be intimidating. Yeah, I mean, that's probably why their faces look like skulls.
Yeah.
James Cameron Clark. I'm designing my own mini holder, though I am currently using a cube of wood.
Ah. Is it a cylinder of wood? I want to know what this holder is.
Is it a parabola of wood?
What'd you say?
A parabola of wood?
Ah, that'd be pretty neat.
Is it a dodecahedron?
Is it what is it called? What's the one where you hold it but then you put your finger on top? Like it has like a little shelf over the mini.
Oh yeah, like, some of them have. I think
ergonomic.
It's like a shield. It's designed for you to rest your hands so that you don't rest your hands on the model.
Mm-hmm. And it's ergonomic. Does it look like that?
Yeah, I'd be interested in trying one of those out. I never really have too big an issue with touching the model and rubbing off paint.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're just touching the model, not rubbing the model. You shouldn't have too much damage.
I think a lot of people like rubbing the model.
Mm-hmm. Proven. That pronunciation was beautifully horrendous, and I couldn't be more pleased.
Amazing. Good old Cyclone 8974 is teaching us how to say that. I don't know what does a double S sound?
So it's
Yeah. Don't teach us anything like that. We won't figure it out. We're not smart enough.
Pressemble.
No, I liked what it was before.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy Heretic. I used to rub my Slaneshi models until they started rubbing back. Amazing. Hunter Olsen, how do you guys deal with painter's block, like when you are trying to figure out how to paint a model?
I
I don't think
know.
you have this problem.
I like looking at books, like art books. That's my favorite. Even if I don't know, like especially if I don't know what I want to paint, if I look at an art book and I just see really interesting combinations of colors or textures.
Yeah, and a lot of your art books are just nudes, so that's kind of interesting. I don't understand how you can kind of learn how to paint a space marine from that, but it works for you, doesn't it?
But yeah, that's my favorite, is looking at books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm planning on doing a video all about that. About books, not painter's block.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Heretic. Slap random paints on a mini until it comes up with something that looks passable. Not even kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Leisurely Minis. Gotta get to bed. Work in the AM. Thanks for the stream. Good night, Leisurely Minis.
And we'll be back tomorrow at 9 p.m. We're always here.
El Rondorio. Characters in fantasy art painting like Frazetta, Boris, and Ken Kelly. I usually go for sci-fi. James Cameron Clark. I turned a paint handle on the lathe, but it's currently still in the workshop. The 3D print one I'm doing combines a lot of the designs available, takes a cork, magnet, bottle cap, clips for bases, etc. Andrew Emerson. What's a good way to learn how to blend colors? Pick a mini and blend on it. You'll probably find it easier to blend on bigger minis first. Like something that's like a Space Marine or bigger. But yeah, just do it. And it's not going to look amazing. But then you just keep at it and it'll start to look like something.
Oh, Rondorio. Hey, those artists do sci-fi also.
Well, you started by saying fantasy, so I assumed it was fantasy.
You hate fantasy.
I
think it sucks.
I don't mind fantasy, but it doesn't draw me in usually, and I super don't get anything out of like the kind of dragony, save the little village, Middle Ages. It's like, yeah, but how is that more exciting than a laser gun? Oh no, the townsfolk are gonna get eaten by the dragon. I root for the dragon. Andrew Emerson. Okay, I'll practice on my daughter's Space Marines. Yeah!
Perfect.
Press and Bleu. Tips for basing models, like specifically when picking colors to contrast nicely with armor. Specifically trying to pick what to do for my fledgling Black Templars and Death Guards. Well, a good rule of thumb is if the model is light, go dark on the base. And if the model is very dark, go light on the base. Otherwise, I mean, maybe if you have any sort of lore or anything for the minis, then maybe you could base it on that. Like, they live on a particular world with this climate, or they like to fight this type of alien, or they've been stationed on this type of planet. My Black Templars are in the desert. So I think the black armor looks nice on the tan bases, the light tan bases. But my Necrons, which are completely white, I have on orange bases. And their weapons are orange, so I think the double shot of orange with the completely bright white bodies is very striking.
And remember how those started. They were white Necrons on a white base with blue.
Yes, with light blue.
Yeah, with light blue.
Didis29 just came in. El Rondorio. Yeah, they're primarily known for their fantasy art, but they are good at many genres.
Mm.
Happy Heretic. I get the feeling that if Jay was in my D&D group, he'd be the one of the players cobbling together the medieval equivalent of a propane truck to blow up his enemies with.
Exactly.
Yeah, whatever character is a mad scientist who can build a gun.
Mm-hmm.
I choose gun. Roll my d20.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, we're being attacked by goblins. I choose
a
gun. Extended magazine.
Mm-hmm.
I choose assault rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Hand grenade. Explosive ordnance.
Deep strike. You build a drone in the game.
Predator drone.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever played D&D?
No.
No, I have not either. You know who we should ask?
Ben?
Ben.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the D&D has some really cool monsters and stuff in it. D&D is not like... It doesn't... Like, it's just like, I don't know, old school fantasy. You know, barbarian swings a sword at a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like... I mean, that was real cool back in the day, but we got cooler stuff now. I choose a pepper rifle. Happy Heretic. I played a Deadlands game where I had a mad scientist necromancer. I rose children from the dead, stuffed them full of dynamite, and then sent him at the enemy. Perfect.
Amazing.
See, that's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Kino Kinos. D&D is literally whatever the D&D makes. If your game is boring, your DM is boring. Yeah.
I think Ben would be a good DM.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's DM'd a bunch.
Mm-hmm. Some friends of mine played Star Wars D&D, and that looked kind of fun. I mean, D&D does look like fun, but I'm like, oh, I know everything about Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even have to learn anything. I know what a Trandoshan is.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play as a weak way. No one wants to play as a weak way. They're the goon species.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's pretty fitting for you.
I think that's one of the big things that The Mandalorian did really right, is they didn't really make anything new. They reused stuff that's already been in Star Wars. And I totally understand why the instinct of the people who made the new standalone movies to make all new stuff. Because if you have the opportunity to make new stuff, that's probably a lot more fun. I mean, George Lucas fell into that same trap. He didn't reuse a single alien from the original trilogy, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
He made all new aliens.
I mean, that's why the prequels are so good.
Yeah, that's why everyone loves them. But the Mandalorian, it is kind of fun. Like when you see somebody from Jabba's palace, or you see something that was in the cantina, and you're like, ooh, the Star Wars showed up. That's a Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Oops, I Star Wars'd again.
Mm-hmm. Has anybody seen TK's 3D prints, or did those Nurgle troops I sent him give him a fatal disease? He's been commenting actually on all the streams after the fact.
Yeah, after the fact. He still watches them. It seems like his schedule doesn't line up currently. I know who's modding this. Anyone could say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Is Dr. Drokel even here today? I mean, that would be insane.
Lucky Bat. Hey, there's the Star Wars and the Star Wars. The Star Wars showed up, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Cyclone 8974. Do people love the aliens from 1 through 3? Yeah. I think they had some cool ones. What are cool aliens from 1 through 3? I like the Kaminoians. I think they're kind of cool looking. They're like giraffe fish. I mean, the guns.
Yeah, the gun guns are perfect.
Everyone loves the guns.
Especially one particular one.
Yeah. Captain Tarples, right?
Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh. Happy Heretic. Jar Jar is the best alien ever.
Yes! Fact. Lucky Bat. We can say anything. Heck. Harkins Aquatics. I've never played D&D, but I have all the 40k D&D book I got from Humble Bumble.
Ah.
Cyclone 8974. Giraffe fish. Is that like a seahorse? Oh, wait. Feet 009. The ducks with 2 sets of wings. Yes! You see them for seconds. Everyone loves them. Ooh, we can't forget the giant ass horses that Anakin rides for a second in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, everyone's favorite. The Dexter Jetster, the owner of Jetster's Diner. Yeah, Kino Quinones said it. Dex from Dex's 50s Diner. That was the best. Jar Jar is a not-so-secret Sith Lord. Yes, Jar Jar is the secret. The hashtag not Japanese Trade Federation aliens, the what do they call them? The Nemoidians. Not to be confused with the Duros, who are almost identical.
Now that's racism.
You know what's interesting is actually I have one of the last of the old publications of the Star Wars source books happened after Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, came out. And in the book, they set up that there's like a weird racism that people mistake Duros for Nemoidians. And so there's a Duros going in to get a pilot job, and he gets clocked as a Nemoidian, and he leaves in disgust.
Oh, wow. I'm trying out this glazing medium. It seems pretty nice. Remember I was having such a hard time with that gray before? I'm not having a problem now.
Neat.
Seems to be nice and able to move it around.
Happy Heretic. It would have made the new movies a lot better if he was. Oh, if Jar Jar was actually the one behind everything in the prequels. I mean, he a little bit is. He is the one that gives emergency powers to the Chancellor Palpatine so that he could become the ruler of the galaxy. Kino as Techno Union represent. Oh god, I don't remember the species of the Techno Union aliens.
I mean, do you even like Star Wars then?
I know, right?
I mean, who are you?
Comic Wolf. Hey, guys.
Hey.
They must have came up with more aliens that were cool. I mean, every single movie was chock full of aliens. In 1 second of the movie, you can see George Lucas dressed up as a senator, and they just made him blue. So that alien was great. And you know what's hilarious is actually that character that George Lucas plays makes an appearance in the Clone Wars. Not as George Lucas, but they do use that character.
That's pretty funny.
Because I'm sure Dave Filoni was like, yeah, we know. We saw. We caught that. You're not fooling us, George. And the Toydarian Watto. Not racist at all. Exactly. I'm a Toydarian. Mind tricks don't work on me. Only money. George. Because
Old George.
you know that they didn't accidentally make like the Nemoidians sound Japanese. There was a few meetings about the voice.
Hmm. But do you think they were really thinking about it back then? Compared to like now. Now that would never happen.
Oh yeah, now it was probably a sticky note on a whiteboard. Japanese aliens.
Hmm.
Kino Kinones. I am absolutely convinced Jar Jar was meant to be Plagueis the Wise, but Lucas backed out after Phantom Menace's reception. Ooh, Brett asks, Darth Maul's race was cool. The Zabrak. Which, the Zabrak have kind of flip-flopped in between. Do they all look like Darth Maul, or are they regular looking? Because there was a Jedi Zabrak from Attack of the Clones who was flesh-colored, but then in the Clone Wars, we see Zabraks, and they all have markings similar to Darth Maul. But in The Mandalorian, we see Cara Dune fight a Zabrak in like a bar fight, and that one was flesh-toned. So I think it can be either way. They either come out looking like Darth Maul, or they come out looking like just a regular fella with horns.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'd say regular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's great if you look like the one like in Mandalorian, the makeup is perfect. If you look at Darth Maul, you can see like the plastic horns that are glued to his head.
That's awesome.
Veet009, I kind of really want Star Wars Detours to release now, just to watch the horror. Is Star Wars Detours the ride at Disney? Stefan Hess. Jay, was your upload today your way of telling us that you're on shrooms without actually saying it? Yes.
Yes. I love calling it shrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Shroom base. Shroom biome.
Oh, you know, we should have hit a little truffle worm somewhere in the video.
Oh, that would have been really cute.
So people have been like, bug net now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember the very first time we called upon Duke Fishron and he like one-shotted both of us?
Yes.
And we thought we were so prepared with all of our weapons and gear and potions.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big yo-yo guy. I love the yo-yos.
I like magic and guns.
Mm-hmm.
Although I can definitely be persuaded to use a bow if I can get the Dauntless Storm Bow, which doesn't shoot bow and arrows, but it calls bow and arrows from the sky wherever your mouse is.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a mimic drop, so sometimes it's hard to get a hold of.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I like all the ranger gear.
Mm-hmm. It's such a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, if you have a lot of downtime and you have friends, that would be so much fun to play. Yeah, I don't think anyone said Terraria in the comments or anything.
I think a couple people said Terraria.
They said a game. It's from a game, but they didn't say what game.
I want to say there's one. I'm glad to see Terraria represented.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh, there's a lot of comments. Someone said Minecraft.
Oh,
that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Yeah, Terraria vibes. Nice. Perfect.
Comic Wolf, what brushes do you use or recommend? I'm tired of buying 3 to 5 brushes from them to go bad in 5 months. I've had really good success with Rosemary & Co. And I also have a little collection of Army Painter. And I've had very good success with these.
Mm-hmm. Cyclone 8974. I don't have friends. Well, you can't play by yourself. It's fun to put your friends in situations so then they get killed. That's what's really fun.
Yeah, yep.
Or exploring together and then someone gets lost. Even better.
Working together to build a elevator.
Oh my god, elevators. When hell is like super scary at the beginning, but then
Hmm.
when you're gonna fight the wall of flesh, you're fine.
Oh yeah, when one of those imps that can shoot the fireballs that pass through blocks, you're like,
Oh my
how,
god.
how in this universe will I ever be able to defeat these things? And
Hmm.
then eventually, like your little minion pets just kill them for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, one class I always really liked, but I could never get the hang of was the summoner class.
Mm.
Power Surge. I walked into my local store one day and his customers were explaining to the store owner why the Empire and Stormtroopers were not Nazi-like. I mean, they're not Nazi-like, but they're not Nazi-like. I mean, Stormtroopers, gray and red officers' uniforms,
Hmm.
taking over the world.
Hmm.
Only white guys who are Brit, like from Europe.
Hmm. Yeah, completely different.
Mm-hmm. Like I think you're probably wrong if you say the Empire is Nazis.
Hmm.
Like Star Wars isn't super political, except for the prequels are kind of very political. But
Hmm.
but yeah, they definitely borrowed some of that classic Nazi aesthetic.
Hmm.
Because the Nazis had the bad guy look down on, like they had to look down.
Yeah, truly did.
They were like, how do we make our costumes look really evil?
Hmm. They did it.
Mm-hmm. If Hugo Boston designed the outfits, it's not a Nazi.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't forget the Stormtrooper helmet shapes. Exactly. Bro, Hitler's personal army was literally called Stormtroopers. Yeah, I didn't say that they're not Stormtroopers. Like I just think, like, I don't know. It'd be a little bit of a stretch to say, oh, he was making a statement on, like, I don't know, World War II. Like, I think he just borrowed some of the looks of popular culture bad guys.
Hmm. I mean, obviously George Lucas is a deep thinker, so.
I think giving them German accents might have been slightly too on the nose, though. Pressemble. Oh yeah, I've got my cousin interested in Kill Team now. Gonna play an introductory game with him and teach him next week. I'll
Nice.
get my Black Templar and I'll run some Plague Marines. Ooh. Yeah, I've been
Sounds
thoroughly
fun.
enjoying Kill Team.
Yeah, I've been playing every week for like 7 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
If you make time for it and you say you're going to do it every week, you'll do it every week.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you don't, but we seem to be doing it.
Too much water.
What we really need is we need to find a fourth player
Yeah.
because we haven't played a four-way yet. We've only
Mm-hmm.
done 2 ways and 3 ways.
And of course the legendary 5-way.
Exactly. Yeah, but once someone has to watch or film.
James Cameron Clark. English accents are the best for villains. Charles Dance and Ian McKellen in Everything Please.
Mm-hmm. They are a very evil sounding accent. Travers Clark, how are these models? I was interested in getting into Malifaux, and this was the warband I was looking at.
They're pretty fun. A little bit of a pain in the butt to build. I
Hmm.
kind of though like the scale of Malifaux because even though they're incredibly detailed, they're very small, so none of the details take a tons of time to paint.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding them pretty fun to paint. They're definitely a challenge. They don't take very kindly to washes, and they don't take to dry brushing. So you're kind of layering everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. They'd be pretty hard to tackle for someone's first models, but if you have some modeling experience under your belt, then they'll probably be just fine. They'll be a fun challenge.
Mm-hmm. We don't like fun here, though. We only deal with serious topics and things.
Prussian Blue. The name Stormtrooper itself comes from World War One. It's shocking how few people know that. Yeah, I know that. I just don't think, I don't think the Empire is Nazis. I think they're just drawing from bad guys. Cause like Darth Vader is very samurai inspired.
Mm-hmm.
And Emperor Palpatine is very old man inspired.
Right.
And Yoda is very Kermit the Frog inspired.
Exactly.
Power Surge. Are most miniatures small like this, or are they closer to GW stuff? The thing with GW stuff is that they're in a scale that is called heroic, which doesn't mean a ton, but it does mean that gun or weapons get made much bigger, hands get made bigger, faces get made bigger, so that they're much easier to paint. And the way so these models are all made so that details aren't particularly pronounced, but if there was a slider, it's almost like in Photoshop, the different photo filter sliders. Games Workshop takes contrast and pumps it all the way up, and that's why washes and dry brushing work so well on those models. Because if somebody has a belt, the belt is 4 inches thick.
Right.
So it's if in real life, if you were to 3D scan yourself, the belt might not even be pronounced enough to be a shape in the 3D model.
Mm-hmm.
But for Games Workshop, that belt is sticking straight out.
Right.
James
Belt
Cameron.
out.
Mm-hmm. James Cameron Clark. Easy being green, it is not.
I love that.
The Kino Kinotas. The Empire clearly has National Socialist policies. Don't you remember when Hitler used forced lightning at Leningrad? Or the Death Star that blew up France? Kino Kinotas. Yoda is not everything that is first look like. Not everything is what it first looks like personified. And you know what's great? The whole George Lucas somehow missed the entire point of Yoda. They tell, Anakin or Luke goes to meet a great Jedi warrior and finds out that the greatest Jedi wasn't a warrior. He was just some little old monk who knew the Force, and he knew right from wrong. And then as soon as old Georgie gets a hold of Yoda, he's like, okay, but he was obviously a great warrior, so he does super flips, and he's got a little lightsaber, and he can run super fast, even though he uses a cane.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't even watch his own movies.
Yeah. You may have gone too far a few places.
I think the worst lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars has got to be Dooku versus when Count Poo-Poo fights Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then fights Yoda. Just blech.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of blech, look at the time, folks.
Look at that time. So we had a video out today. We'll have a video out on Wednesday, and we'll be back with another stream at 9 p.m. Central.
Yeah.
So join us tomorrow.
Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Good night.
End the stream.